my good and wonderful people, we are back with another movie review catch-up. I have 4 movies to discuss with you today, and let's start with The Legend of Ochi. The Legend of Ochi is the latest film from A24, where a community is scared of monsters that live just outside of their residence, except for a young girl who befriends one of those monsters and decides to take him back home. I enjoyed most of what A24 put out there, and I must admit the trailer did look somewhat interesting to me. I'm always going to enjoy Willem Dafoe in pretty much anything that he does, and I'm glad to say that The Legend of Ochi is fine. It's a beautifully constructed movie with some excellent performances. Some of the scenery and the cinematography and locations are just absolutely jaw-dropping. They could serve as art pieces or desktop wallpapers, and the music works very nicely with it as well. Effects, both CGI and practical, are both very well done, and it did generally hold my attention, and I thought it was pretty smooth for an hour-and-a-half runtime. But that really is about as deep as it got, and as some of you may have already realised from the description that I've given it, The Legend of Ochi really is just another E.T. rewrite. It isn't bringing anything new at all to the idea or genre. I can't help but feel like I would have cared so much more had I spent more time with these characters and had a reason to be invested. The film feels somewhat rushed in the opening. It very much just introduces its characters and moves on. There isn't really any time to get attached or really sink your teeth into it, which is a real blow when push comes to shove, because when things are starting to get climactic, that weight and investment that we were supposed to have just isn't really there. I was intrigued by it all. I thought it was presented in interesting ways, but I was just longer and longer frustrated by the fact that I knew this movie was never going to explain it or show any further of it. It's all very surface level and extremely safe. I'm not mad at it. I do think people can have fun with it, but at the end of the day, I don't really know what the overall point is. It's one of those movies that you'll enjoy and think is completely fine, but immediately forget it and probably never watch it again. I'm going to give The Legend of Ochi a 6 out of 10. Next up is Friendship, starring Tim Robinson and Paul Rudd. The local stress head makes friends with his new cool, relaxed neighbour, but can their wild differences really form a good bond between them? I have very little to say about this movie. I really wanted to like it, and sadly I just found it to be very middle of the road. I'm also not the biggest fan of Tim Robinson. Yeah, there's the odd thing that he does that makes me laugh, but I've never really been a fan of comedians that just seem to scream and shout all the time. And there is an awful lot of that here. Very predictable and obvious humour that you can see coming from a mile away. People around me certainly had fun with it. There was a good amount of laughter in the theatre, but I wish I was more involved in that laughter. The best that this got out of me was a couple of smirks at best. Now, it does have its heart in the right place, and I do think it's a somewhat unique film, and I do like the performances, especially between Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. But personally, I just got almost absolutely nothing out of this. The longer this went on, the more boring it got, and despite only being an hour and 40, it somehow felt an awful lot longer, and the best score that I can give Friendship is a 5 out of 10. Next up is Queen of the Ring, which is telling the true story of professional wrestler Mildred Burke, a pioneer who changed the game of wrestling and introduced females to the sport. This film really annoyed me on a production level alone. It feels so cheap and so tacky. It's meant to be set in what I believe is the 1950s, and yet it felt very much like it was shot in 2024. It doesn't help that so much of the music is completely jarring to its time period. It's jumbled, it's messy, it doesn't know what it wants to do, it doesn't know what it wants to say. It comes across as being so vapid and eye-rolling, and actually quite insulting to the memory of Mildred Burke, because the story doesn't really seem to give a crap about Mildred Burke, and it doesn't really seem to give a crap about wrestling either. It's just about using her and her position of pioneering in the sport to push forward its political messaging of how amazing women are and how shit men are. And it's boring, and it's lazy, and it's not clever, and what you've actually done is kill any opportunity of telling what could have been a genuinely empowering story for women that may have actually intrigued women into checking out wrestling. I don't know who this is for. It's certainly not going to please the male wrestling fans out there, and it's really not going to play well with wider audiences either. Really poorly made, really poorly written, quite badly acted. Very little positive to say about this. But yeah, I'm giving Queen of the Ring a 2 out of 10, and to be honest, I think it can thank me for it. And last but not least, we finish with the new Karate Kid Legends. I think it's fair that I let you know that I'm not the biggest fan of the Karate Kid franchise. Like, I could totally take it or leave it. I like that first film, And that is it. It really does not go that much deeper for me. I have not watched any of Cobra Kai. I've not even seen all of the sequels. Heck, I'm not even sure how many sequels there are at this point. There are so many damn reboots and remakes, and I have lost count. I saw that terrible Jaden Smith one, though. Jesus Christ. And Karate Kid's Legend, sadly, is basically just the same again. I don't know why we're still making these movies, and clearly after watching Karate Kid's Legend, I don't think the writers or director or the studio know why we're still making this movie. Oh yeah, that's right, money. Yeah, it's a popular name, people know what that brand means, and people will turn out for it. It's really sad that human beings are like that. This is the Pavlovian bell, isn't it? We hear an IP name and we all come flooding to it, despite knowing full well it's going to be arse. And they've done it again with Karate Kid's Legends. We have really made the same film, just time after time after time, haven't we here? And this one, Karate Kid's Legends, just feels like the cheapest and laziest of them all. It's so phoned in, it's so rushed, the cinematography is crap, the editing is awful, acting is very below par, music is uninteresting. I waited and waited and waited for this film to get interesting or exciting, and it just, before I knew it, it was the end credits. I guess this movie's idea of being exciting is telling some of the most eye-rolling and cringeworthy jokes imaginable to man. Because that happens a lot. Yeah, pretty terrible dialogue consistently throughout this film. Jackie Chan might as well not even be in the movie for how small his role actually is. Same with Daniel LaRusso and the blonde guy. This is how little I care about this franchise. Whatever the blonde guy's called, Ken from Cobra Kai. They're just lying to you. They don't care. They're not interested in making a good film, and they don't care if you like it either. Just turn up because it's called Karate Kid. Utterly thankless. The only saving grace is the fact that it breezed past so flimsily and effortlessly that it really was over before I even knew it. I won't just forget that I saw this movie, I will forget that this movie exists. It is that empty and weightless and unachieving. I'm going to give Karate Kid Legends a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen any of the movies that we've discussed today? What did you think about them? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you haven't had enough of this crazy ginger, you can always click on these suggested videos right here and get yourself lost in an IMO wormhole. But if not, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.